world commentator Jennie Bond now joining us to explain more with all of this. It's a break from tradition, Jennie, but, I mean, how significant do you see it overall?
I see it as a lovely breath of common sense. For goodness sake, asking a 96-year-old woman who has mobility issues to break her holiday and fly down to London to appoint the new Prime Minister was ridiculous, wasn't it? I know that it was mooted she would do so, but how much more sensible that a middle-aged man or woman, new Prime Minister, should fly up there and kiss the Queen's hands, though that's a little bit figurative. But I think it makes absolute sense. And I don't think we should get too overwrought about her health concerns. We know she has mobility issues. We know she's 96. We know her bones ache. And we know that it comes and goes, and that one morning she might wake up and feel pretty okay. And another morning she just can hardly move, in her own words. And so it was also to help the new Prime Minister sort out their diary, that it can be absolutely certain that they will be appointed by the Queen on Tuesday at Balmoral. There will be no changes to that.
Subtle shift, though, isn't there? You can't deny, Jennie Bond, that the royal family are sort of slowly moving away from the capital. We know that the Queen prefers Windsor Castle. We've just seen the Cambridges making their move that direction. Now we've got the Prime Ministers for the first time in royal history, you know, being, as you say, what's the technical term? Accepted by Her Majesty up in Balmoral. It is a subtle change.
Yes, appointed. She will appoint the Prime Minister. There is a subtle change, I suppose, but I think when we have a King Charles, if that's the name he chooses to take, he will be mostly based in London, probably at Buckingham Palace. But I think the more important change, I suppose, is the transition from the Queen to Prince Charles, which could have happened this time. I mean, she could have just said, look, I'm not feeling well enough, Charles, you do it. But do you know what? The Queen enjoys being Queen. She wants to continue to be the boss of that firm, in control as much as she can, and with whatever changes are necessary. And this was a necessary change.
What is the actual process? What's the formality of it, Jennie? So obviously, whoever wins the leadership election has to be there. Does the current Prime Minister have to be there as well?
Yeah, we can see Boris Johnson flying up there to say his farewell, to formally resign. And then the new Prime Minister, he or she, will be hot on the heels of Johnson. And they will go in, there'll be some pleasantries, and then there is what's called the kissing of hands. I don't think that is actually a slobbery great kiss anymore. I think it's just more a little airbrush kiss. It's a figurative thing. But the Queen will say, will you appoint a new government, and will invite he or she to form a new government. That invitation, I'm sure, will be accepted. And there we are. They are then Prime Minister. A few more pleasantries, maybe a drink, maybe a chat. Maybe the Queen will offer her first words of encouragement. Constitutionally, she is allowed to encourage, to warn, and to be consulted by her Prime Ministers. And so there'll be a little bit of that, probably.
Yeah, because her heating bill is going to be huge, isn't it? She's got a lot of rooms and a lot of palaces. Look, we talk about Prime Minister Boris Johnson and whoever succeeds him flying up to visit Her Majesty, but the actual ins and outs of that quite interesting in themselves. Some speculation that they could fly up together, others that Boris Johnson will get the royal plane and the successor will take a commercial flight, and then they'll swap and the new Prime Minister will come down in the royal plane and Boris Johnson will be on EasyJet or whatever it is. Can you give us any intel on that?
I don't have any intel, but it'll all be vastly amusing and we'll all pick over it, won't we? Yes.
Well, we're going to be picking over the Sussexes, the Meghan and Harry entourage, fly into the country, I think, next week as well. What do we know? Will they be going to see Grandma or not?
Doesn't seem so, no. As we understand it, there are no plans for them to go up to Balmoral. They have quite a crowded schedule, an appointment here, an engagement here with one of their charities, then over abroad for the 1 year anniversary, the 1 year mark till the next Invictus Games in Germany, and then back here. And then presumably flying out again. I'm not sure that any of the royal family really want to see Harry and Meghan at the moment. I know the Queen says that they will always be much loved members of the family, and I'm sure that is very much her view. And she probably would love to see Harry, but my goodness, Meghan Markle has thrown another hand grenade into the whole thing, hasn't she, with her latest utterings in magazines and podcasts.
Jenny, could I ask you if you think that was just by accident or that was deliberately planned, do you think? I mean, on the anniversary, the 25th anniversary of the death of Princess Diana, we were looking at the newspapers yesterday and there were as many Meghan pictures and headlines as there were Diana pictures.
Sometimes more.
Do you think that was deliberate?
You know, I really hesitate to think badly of Meghan and think she could be so scheming, but you can't get away from the fact that that photograph of her that was issued is an almost exact replica of Diana on the front cover of Andrew Morton's book, Her True Story. And the timing was once again, well, you have to think it could be coincidental, but I'm afraid it probably wasn't. It was most unfortunate is the kindest thing I can think to say.
What about this guest editing by Prince Charles of this black publication? Names escaping me now.
It's The Voice.
The Voice. To commemorate its 40th anniversary. I mean, a lot of people were saying, I hope Meghan Markle takes note of this.
Yeah, well, I hope she does. Yes, he was very happy to do that. And the executive director said he was absolutely charming throughout. They had lots of consultations. He's written an article for it. He suggested other articles for it. I think Idris Elba, who was helped by the Prince's Trust, has been interviewed for it. It's wonderful. It's the sort of thing he does and always has done. But as you say, perhaps Meghan didn't take full note of it when she was within the royal family.
Jenny, always a pleasure listening to your analysis. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And as usual, you look just so beautiful.
I must say, I did think I want to comment on how beautiful your dress is, and then I thought that's not very professional of me.
No, I'm not very
leaping out of the screen.
You know. I don't believe in being professional, but I do look and I say she should have her own shopping channel, her own range.
I'd buy that dress. I would buy it.
Yes, there's always something, you know, you could hang,
I want to be like
you could
Jennie.
hang a dishcloth on that woman and it would look well. And I always love looking at her shelves as well.
I do.
Yes, her books, her range behind her, everything.
They're my husband's. I told you they're my husband's. This dress is very pretty.
Oh.
Yes, I'll show you.
Look at that. We get a fashion show.
Oh,
lovely.
It's even better.
Yeah,
like that.
the colours, everything. Lovely, lovely, lovely.